When Joel Osteen, a well-known televangelist, broke the devastating news to his millions of followers, Joel Osteen preaches about your best life now, but his own empire is crumbling. The Hurricane Harvey disaster showed his true colors when he refused to help flood victims. The church shooting exposed dangerous security gaps. Financial records reveal they spend more on TV broadcasts than helping the poor. Other pastors say he's not even preaching Christianity anymore. Meanwhile, the sources close to the family say there's another crisis brewing that could end his ministry forever. Here's everything going wrong with Joel Osteen. Joel Osteen was born on March 5, 1963 in Houston, Texas. He wasn't born into an ordinary family. He was one of 6 children in a home built on faith and big dreams. His father, John Osteen, had once been a traditional Southern Baptist pastor, but that changed just 4 years before Joel was born. In 1959, John left behind the old ways and started something new. What would become Lakewood Church. The Osteen family wasn't just busy. They were focused. His mother Dodie stood right beside John through every high and low. Joel grew up watching his parents handle challenges with faith. When his sister Lisa was born in 1958 with severe disabilities, it shook the family. But it also became a turning point. John and Dodie leaned hard into faith healing, and that shift became the heartbeat of their church. Joel had siblings who followed different paths, but each played a role in the family's growing influence. Lisa would go on to become an associate pastor at Lakewood. His brother Paul became a vascular surgeon and also served as a missionary. Their lives were rooted in service shaped by early moments of hardship and deep belief. The story of Lakewood Church begins in the most unexpected way. In May 1959, on Mother's Day, John and Dodie opened the doors of a church inside an old feed store on the northeast side of Houston. It had just 234 seats. They called it Lakewood Baptist Church at first, but that name didn't stay long. The Baptist part was dropped and the church became a place for people who believed in miracles and healing. By the end of the 1970s, Lakewood had over 5,000 members. It had become a movement. Joel wasn't interested in preaching, at least not at first. He was quiet, even shy. In 1981, he graduated from Humble High School in the Houston area. He didn't stand out because of his voice or charisma. He stood out because he stayed behind the scenes. After high school, he went to Oral Roberts University in Oklahoma to study radio and television communications. But he didn't finish. After less than a year, he dropped out. It wasn't because he lacked direction. It was because he already knew what he wanted to do. In 1982, when Joel was just 19, he came back to Houston. He wasn't planning to preach. Instead, he focused on something very few churches at the time understood: television. He launched Lakewood's TV ministry from scratch. One local station, one national cable channel. That was the beginning. For the next 17 years, Joel poured himself into that work. He filmed, he edited, he even tracked what his father wore on stage. He made sure every broadcast looked perfect. He believed the church's message should be just as polished as anything on network TV. His choice to skip college and dive into media wasn't a failure. It was a setup. Joel helped make Lakewood Church a household name. Before ever stepping behind the pulpit, he stayed out of the spotlight, but he was shaping how the world saw Lakewood, one broadcast at a time. At home, Joel lived in a world full of faith. His parents were more than pastors. They were examples. In 1981, his mother, Dodie, was diagnosed with terminal cancer. The doctors gave up, but the family didn't. Dodie survived, and that moment became part of their message. Never stop believing. Prayer and positivity weren't just words. They were a way of life in the Osteen house. Even though Joel worked behind the camera, he was absorbing everything. He saw what worked. He saw how his father inspired people. Over time he developed his own ideas, shaped not by seminary, but by editing hundreds of hours of sermons. He was learning without even realizing it. He never planned to preach. His father asked him many times. Each time Joel said, "No, Daddy, you're the preacher." He used to say, "Who can preach better than you?" But something changed in January 1999. That month Joel finally agreed to speak. On January 17th he gave his first sermon. He was nervous. He spoke fast. He shared family stories and jokes. He just wanted to connect. He didn't know what was coming. Just 6 days later, his father passed away from a sudden heart attack. It was a shock. Joel's first sermon turned out to be the last one his father would ever hear. John's death left a hole in the church. Lakewood had over 6,000 members and no clear successor. Joel had no experience preaching, no theological degree, and no real training. But the people looked to him. And even though he was grieving, even though he never wanted the role, Joel stepped forward. On June 7, 1999, less than half a year after his father's passing, Joel Osteen was officially installed as Lakewood Church's senior pastor. He had only preached a handful of times, but something had clicked. People responded. The church began to grow fast. Within just 5 years, that crowd of 6,000 had more than tripled. By 2004, the church was pulling between 25,000 and 30,000 people every single week. Lakewood had become the biggest church in the entire country. That didn't happen by accident. Joel doubled the church's spending on TV airtime. He fought for better time slots in major cities. He put Lakewood's name on billboards. And he made sure his sermons were uplifting and easy to follow. That mix of hope, media, and message turned Lakewood into something much bigger than just a local church. It was on the move. The original 8,000-seat sanctuary couldn't keep up. So Joel started thinking big. He wasn't shy